Hi, and welcome to another episode of the U.S. Treasury Department's series on reporting for the State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund Program, or SLFRF program, which is again part of the American Rescue Plan. I'm Chris, and I'm with the Treasury Department's Office of Recovery Programs. And in this video, we're going to cover how to complete your project and expenditure report if you are submitting all of your projects under the eligible categories for revenue replacement. So Treasury has worked hard over the past few months to design a process that should be quick and simple for recipients that are eligible to report in this way. This video will be informative for all recipients, but it really is most applicable to the following types of recipients. The first are recipients that are electing to take the standard allowance of up to $10 million in revenue loss and reporting all of their projects under the expenditure category group for revenue replacement. The second group, similarly, are recipients who are calculating their estimated revenue loss and are reporting all of their projects under the expenditure category group for revenue replacement. If you're a part of this group, reporting in the April project and expenditure report has been streamlined, and I'll go over how. In your SLFRF projects, if your SLFRF projects include expenditure categories other than those under revenue replacement, please watch part 2 of this series where I'll cover the other sections of the project and expenditure report in detail. Now, before we go into the demo, an important reminder that Treasury has published the SLFRF compliance and reporting guidance, as well as an updated project and expenditure report user guide on the Treasury website. The April version of the user guide reflects changes stemming from the SLFRF final rule and are specific to your reporting for April. To find this information, please visit www.treasury.gov/SLFRP reporting. I say this in every video, but I highly, again, encourage you all to view the resources on the website in addition to watching this video. And a quick reminder, the project and expenditure report is available now for all recipients and is due by April 30th, 2022. You should have received an email notifying you of its availability and included links and instructions for how to complete it. If you didn't receive this email, you can also visit the Treasury website at the link above or log into our Treasury reporting portal directly through the hyperlink highlighted here. And finally, this video is going to be focused on just the simplified submission of the project and expenditure report under revenue replacement. We're going to start the demo in the Treasury reporting portal itself. If you are interested in watching other videos on related topics like creating your account, adding or changing user roles, how to use the bulk upload functionality, or completing other types of reports, please visit our website again at www.treasury.gov/SLFRP reporting. Now that we covered all the background, let's jump into the demo. All right, so now we're in the Treasury reporting portal. Again, if you're not sure about how to reach this page, please visit our website and additional resources there about how to create an account and how to access the site. So this is the home page of the Treasury portal. In order to find our report, we're going to go to the left side bar which says Compliance Reports, and we're going to click into it. Now at the top here, under the section labeled SLFRF Compliance Reports, you should see a record that looks similar to this, that says it's a project and expenditure report for the period of the first quarter 2022 and the deadline of April 30th, 2022. In order to open the report page, we're going to click this little icon here that allows us to edit the report. Now we are in the project and expenditure report template. You can see real quickly we landed on the introduction page. On the introduction page, you'll be able to see the different modules of this report on the left-hand side. You'll also see on the right-hand side here quick information about the report, your report name, type, the covered period, and the due date. Also, we've provided here your allocation award amount for your SLFRF funds from all sources. So on this introduction page, you'll see some quick instructions, a link to the Treasury website's user guide for the project and expenditure report, as well as bulk upload templates that, for large recipients who are uploading a lot of information, they'll now have ready access to here. But for most of you submitting under the simplified process, you won't need to use the bulk uploads. So we'll go through the other modules by clicking again on the left side bar column here and go to recipient profile. Now we're in the recipient profile page where you'll be able to see information about your jurisdiction, your UEI if we have it, your DUNS number, your TIN, name, address, and also we provided info on your reporting tier. If any of this is wrong or you'd like to report a discrepancy, you can use the box available underneath. And then there are a series of questions that you may need to fill out in the below. But let's jump into the meat of this, which is the project level information. Again, we're going to navigate on the left side column, go to Project Overview. Here in the Project Overview, recipients are able to enter in one or more projects that fully capture their use of SLFRF funds. At the top here, you'll see a set of instructions. Many of them are just instructions to clarify changes that have been made since the prior reporting period. If this is the first time you're doing reporting, you can read the instructions and also scroll down to the bottom section. The first set of questions you'll see here are asking whether or not you have projects to report during this reporting period. For the sake of this test, we are going to answer that my jurisdiction has projects to report. If you answered that your jurisdiction does not have projects to report, you'd be asked to provide a narrative describing your reasons. But again, for this purposes of this video, we're going to go and say we have a project to report. Say save, and I'm going to scroll down further to the Add a New Project button. Here is where I list out all my projects. I'm going to click the Add New Project button. And my first order of business here is to create a project that will capture my obligations and expenditures around what I am using SLFRF funds for. In this scenario, we are going to be creating a project under Category 6, Revenue Replacement. And that is a category group. And then the specific expenditure category for this project can be either 6.1, Provision of Government Services, or 6.2, Non-Federal Match for other federal programs. For the purposes of this exercise, I'm just going to create a project under 6.1, Provision of Government Services. And you can see here, if I select this expenditure category, automatically a notification pops up that says, at this time, obligations and expenditures reported under this expenditure category, 6.1, Provision of Government Services, do not need to have subrecipients, subawards, or expenditures reported separately. So now that I know that, I can go ahead and create my project. For purposes of this, I'm going to say it is test project 6.1 revenue replacement. I can give it a unique project ID that is determined by your jurisdiction. So we'll go ahead and call it C01. Adopted budget is optional for non-tier 1 recipients. And here I'm going to enter in total cumulative obligations. In this case, we'll say it is $10 million. Similarly, I'm going to report my total cumulative expenditures as being $5 million. If this is your first time reporting, your current period obligations will logically amount to your cumulative obligations. So I'm going to enter in 10 million for obligations. And again, for current period expenditures, it's going to be 5 million. Again, hypothetical values, use your own values based on your own reporting. Optional fields after that are program income earned and program income expended. If these apply to you, please enter the values here. And finally, just a quick project description. Please use a fulsome description to describe your own project, what you plan to use SLFRF funds for in terms of your provision of government services. So let's just say funds used for teacher salaries and building new playground. Again, in your specific case, you can use a more fulsome example, as much detail as you think is appropriate to describe your use of funds. Again, for this exercise, I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to go ahead and click Add Project. And just like that, I have one project created for $10 million in obligations. And you can see here the project status, the subaward status, and the expenditure status are already checked off as green, which means complete. So I know I don't need to do anything more in terms of completing information for this project. And you'll notice here, my claimed obligations, total cumulative obligations of SLFRF funds equals my example total allocation of SLFRF funding. If you put in a value greater than your total SLFRF allocation, you would receive an error. Important to keep in mind when you go and claim your revenue loss figure in the subsequent screen. So now that we've created our project, let's just, for the sake of going through, navigate to the other pages. Some of these you'll see do not apply to recipients claiming everything under revenue replacement. So we scroll to subrecipients. You'll see all the fields are grayed out, and at the top here, the same message as before, that recipients reporting under expenditure category group 6 for revenue replacement do not need to have subrecipients, subawards, and expenditures reported separately. So the same message will appear on subawards and expenditures. And you'll see, as long as I don't have a project created under a different expenditure category, these will stay grayed out. So you don't need to enter anything in them. What you will need to enter is on the subsequent recipient-specific module. We navigate there, and you'll see a set of instructions at the top. On this screen is where you can choose to elect to use the standard allowance of up to $10 million, and that's $10 million not to exceed your total award allocation for identifying revenue loss. As stated in the updated guidance and as part of the final rule, this is a one-time decision you're making in April to whether or not to elect the standard allowance. So in this case, I'm going to say yes, I want to elect the standard allowance. And you'll see additional instructions here that appear. Again, if your allocation, if your allocation is 10 million or greater, you can enter in the amount of revenue loss up to 10 million if you're electing the standard allowance. If your total allocation is less than 10 million, you may enter in the amount of revenue loss up to your total allocation. In this situation, my hypothetical example, I am allocated $10 million. And I'm claiming the standard allowance. So I'll enter in revenue loss due to COVID-19 public health emergency as $10 million. You'll have to answer subsequent questions. Were fiscal recovery funds used to make a deposit into a pension fund? Answer should be no. And please provide an explanation of how revenue replacement funds were allocated to government services. Here is where you provide a more fulsome explanation about your use of revenue replacement funds at large. So again, as much detail as you can provide here to allow us a sense of how you're using these funds. Once you've done that, and I will enter in some sample language here, you click Save, and you see your changes are saved. Now, if you are not electing to take the standard allowance, and you go back up top here to the yes/no question, and you say no, a different set of fields will appear. And here, you can choose to manually calculate for each year, 2020 and 2021, your revenue loss calculations based on the formula and the required fields here. You will be providing base year general revenue, your growth adjustment used, your jurisdiction's year-end date, the actual general revenue for the year 2020, and then your estimated revenue loss due to COVID-19, again, specifically for 2020. You're answering the same questions about, whether you made deposits into a pension fund and your explanation. Again, because you're selecting 2020 here, you're filling these fields out just for the year 2020. You would save and then click into 2021 to separately enter the same values, but this time you're entering the values as they are for the year 2021. Again, if you are not electing to take the standard allowance, you will be calculating your estimated revenue loss due to COVID-19 for each year separately based on the calculations and the fields provided. So that's important when you're doing the calculation for how much revenue loss you're able to submit costs against on your project's overview. If you are selecting no to the standard allowance, the sum of your 2020 and 2021 estimated revenue loss is the maximum that you can report obligations and expenditures against. So in this case, again, we're going to just say yes to the standard allowance. The standard allowance is a one-time decision, and we've already entered in the amount of $10 million. I can click Next, and just like that, we're at the certification page. At the top of the certification page, you'll see a review box that will summarize the data that you've entered in prior sections of the report. Since in this example, we only entered one project in the project overview section for $10 million in obligations and $5 million in expenditures, I know that this report actually accurately reflects what I previously entered. If this page looks right for you and what you've entered previously, you can scroll down further to the certification statement. Please read this statement before you click the Certify and Submit button. If you are the authorized representative for reporting, you'll be able to scroll down further. You should see your name here in the box and your title, and you'll be able to click the Certify and Submit button in the lower right-hand corner. So let's go ahead and click that box. And you'll see here a pop-up asking if you're sure you're ready to submit. You can click the blue box again that says Submit. And you'll see that your report has been submitted successfully. The final step here is just a quick survey. This is not part of the project and expenditure report, but we hope you help fill it out and provide your feedback for how this experience was for you. You can answer these quick survey questions, and you can provide some written responses in the text box provided. Once you've done that, you can click Submit Survey, or if you choose not to answer, you can click Cancel, and that'll take you right back to the home page of the Treasury reporting portal. And that's it. That's all you need to do to submit a project and expenditure report through the simplified process under revenue replacement. And that wraps up this video on submitting your project and expenditure report using the simplified process as part of revenue replacement, including how to elect to take the standard allowance. If you have additional questions, we first encourage you to visit our website at www.treasury.gov/SLFRP reporting. You can also contact us directly at the email address slfrp@treasury.gov, or give us a call at 844-529-9527. So that wraps up this video. Thanks again for watching.